Hello everyone, back in 2024, I wrote a community article titled Aligning Sold Product Install Base Item with CMDB. This article got a lot of comments and also a lot of questions, so today I thought to go through this concept again, but on recording. And full disclosure, I'm recording this today. Today is Sunday, and I'm going on holiday tomorrow, and I genuinely cannot stop thinking about this concept, so I thought to put it out there so I can relax. My intention really is by the end of this video, I want you to draw three links just from memory. Sold product to product model, how they connect to each other. Install base item to CI, why we want to connect them to each other, what is the main reason, what is the benefit for organization by connecting your install base item to CI, and sold product to product offering, sorry, to service offering. Okay, and that's really the whole video. Everything else just context to make those three links make sense to you. Okay, I'm going to share the whiteboard to simulate a scenario where we as a team we are going to visit one of our customer. It's AD services. This is a SaaS provider that they want to map out their CRM, the selling CRM, and they want to make sure that the CSM team is using the right data model, and they want to want also make sure that the CRM is supported very well by their service operations team. And how we ensure that their service operation team support them very well is ensuring also that ServiceNow got the right data model. So let's go. We just arrived on the customer site, AD services, and we are now sitting with their enterprise architect and their product owner. And we understand that they offer a lot of services, but as far as this conversation concerned, we are only focusing on CRM services, and we want to understand the service, how it works from operational perspective. Okay, so we are only focusing on CRM services only. So their enterprise architect and their product owner, they explain to us that they offer a lot of services, as I mentioned. And for the CRM services, they offer three packages. They offer Standard, Pro, and Pro Plus. Let's just pick one, okay, for this particular video, okay? So we're gonna pick one, which is the standard package. But within actually the standard package, there are also regional packages. So there is an EMEA standard package, there is America standard package, APAC, and so on. So we're gonna only pick one then. We're gonna pick the EMEA package, the EMEA standard package. We asked them operationally, what does this offering actually depend on? AD services already had discovery in place and service mapping, so their CMDB already showed their application services and the VMs those services sit on. But before we connect the offering to any of that infrastructure, one more question we ask them. We ask them, what is the actual model behind your offering? And they told us the actual product model is CRM V989. So that's the kind of the technical term for it. So far we have our business services. We have one of our service offering, and we have one product model. So we dig a little bit deeper. We want to dig a little bit deeper. So we ask more questions. We told them for that offering to actually function, how this offering is going to interact with your infrastructure. They told us it need two instances. Okay, it needs prod instance and dev instance. Okay, like think about ServiceNow. You go buy from ServiceNow ITSM Pro, and that will be your whole product. This is what ServiceNow offer. But in order for actually to access ServiceNow, you need an instance, right? You need a prod instance and you need development instance to do your, your development work on. Same for the CRM EMEA standard. They come with two application service or two instances. It comes with prod and dev. Okay, and their prod environment from an infrastructure perspective depend on the two VMs, and the dev depend on one VM. Okay, so for those instances, in order for this instance to function, to actually work, it needs this infrastructure. Now this is all is going to be discovered by discovery and service mapping. Okay, so these are already done by service mapping, and this is done by discovery. Now what we need to do, we not just need to draw the relationship between the infrastructure and the service offering. At this point, your service operation team is happy. If production goes down, they can raise an incident against business service, which if, let's say, CRM services, they can pick up the offering that the incident relate to, let's say CRM EMEA standard, and they can pick the CI that is down, okay? Let's say the production instance. Now here is the catch. None of what I just said is how the customer service team talk. CSM speak different language, and it's centered on two things. I would argue maybe three things: sold product and installed base item and product model. Now let's say your sales team just close a deal with let's say Boxu. They sold them CRM EMEA standard, and they want you as an admin to make sure that the right records and data model is prepared for the CSM team to support Boxu operation. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a sold product record, and I will call it, for example, Boxu CRM. Now, there are two things need to be true about this record if you want the sold product record to fully integrate with service portfolio management. One is the service offering need to be linked to the sold product. Okay. Second is the product model need to be populated with the model of the service offering. So in this example, then the Boxu CRM standard that Boxu just bought from you need to have an offering of CRM EMEA standard, and the model should be CRM 989. Now, as far as I remember, if you actually select the offering, the model is going to be automatically populated. Now, I want to highlight something. By default, if you don't have I think the plugin called CSM for Service Portfolio Management, you will not see the service offering field. Okay, so if you want to integrate service portfolio management with CSM, you need to have the CSM with SPN plugin enabled in order to see this field. Now, not all customers actually call in because the product doesn't work. Sometimes they call because their dev is slow or they cannot log into the prod environment. This is where the install base item become very important. Okay, just a quick definition: the sold product is basically what you sold to your customer. It has a price tag, maybe it has a line item in your contract with the service provider. Now the API is anything you provision for your customer or anything you install in your customer side in order for your sold product to work. Okay, and in this particular example, the API here will be, your service instances. Okay, so you might have two APIs. Actually, if you want to go a little bit deeper, you might have more APIs if you want to connect your APIs to your VM. Now, this is all will be an enterprise architecture discussion, and you need to talk to your stakeholder about how deep they want to go from an install base item perspective. To my ServiceNow instance, and as you can see in the screen, the dependency map here on top, you can see the CRM services, which represent one of my business services, and I got one offering underneath it. We only choose one offering, the CRM standard EMEA, but we know that AD services has multiple offering to different region and different packages as well. Now this offering, the CRM standard, depend on prod and depend on dev as well. And this is only the application service that we provision for Boxio. Okay, so we got one customer Boxu, and once we confirm the sale, we provision for them 2 instances as a part of the CRM standard EMEA package. And also we obviously make sure that these service instances are mapped correctly to the infrastructure. And I made the infrastructure very slim, okay, so very lean. So you got the dev instance depend on one Windows server, and the production instance depend on 2 Windows server, okay. And this is all for Boxio. Now let's see what we're going to do for the CSM product. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to provision one sold product for Boxio. So I go to my sold product and I click new. And here I'm going to select the product model, okay? And the product model is ADCRM V989. Once I select the product model, you will see the service offering only show what is matched the product, okay? So what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna prefix the sold product with Boxio and I write the package here, and that will be the sold product. The customer will make sure that the Boxio is populated, and that's the sold product. Now I need to make sure that also this sold product is linked to the right install base item. So I can see there is a related list in the bottom and it's got edit in it. So that assumes that install base item is already created. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to navigate to install base item, click new, and I'm going again select Boxio, and here I'm going to select the CI, which would be my dev instance, and I call this, I would actually map it exactly in terms of name like the CI, and I would say this is already in use and it's original, it's not a replacement. I will leave the life cycle stage and status empty, and this will represent one of my PI, okay, one of my install base item. Can I create another one? Yes, I can create another one, maybe for prod environment this time. I will make sure that the CI populated with a prod environment, and I'm gonna insert. What I'm going to do next, I'm gonna go to again sold products one, and I'll navigate to install base item, tap and click new. I'll make sure this is linked to the install base item that we just created, which is the prod environment. I also need to create another sold install base item. Okay, so now we got 2 install base item linked to the original install base, sold product. So the install base item, which is prod and dev, they are both linked to the CRM standard EMEA for Boxio. Now, if I want to raise an incident, I will use the CIs, and if I want to raise a case, I'm gonna use the sold product and install base item. So here is one example. So I click new to create a case for Boxio. You can see the account is populated, the product is automatically populated, the sold product is automatically populated, and if I want to be more specific, now I can select one of the install base item which has an issue. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you did enjoy this very short video.